What's going on, guys? DLegend here. Today we have a PSA collection video. I know you guys really wanted to see one long comprehensive video, but I think it just made more sense to split it up into two separate videos. So we are going over my Elemental Hero collection today, and then we're going to be going over everything else in a separate video, just because it took me 40 minutes to record the first video with just Elemental Heroes. So we'll go into this collection in a separate video, so definitely subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see that, and hope you guys enjoy this one, because we're going to go through all of those cards and then some of the ones in here, and then we'll go over everything else in the other part of the video. So enjoy, catch y'all soon. Alright guys, so let's get into it. So we're going to start off with my Elemental Hero collection. This is the pride and joy of my collection. Like I said, I might not have every single card in this specific video. I might just split it up into two parts because it's quite a big collection. Not everything is super high-end. For those of you out there that are only looking for super high-end stuff, this might not be the video for you, but every card here in this collection means something to me, so I'd want to show them off to you guys, and I want to take my time doing so. So hopefully you guys stick around for the rest of the video, but I understand if you're only here for the high-end cards. I obviously have some high-end Elemental Heroes, but not everything in here is what people would necessarily grade per se. So let's see how it goes, and we'll see how long this part of the video goes, and then we'll decide if we want to split it up or if we want to just go from here. So let's grab a stack at a time, kind of go from there. I want to keep everything in order, so let's see. So first and foremost, we do have the 4 Elemental Hero vanilla monsters from the Lost Millennium. So we have Avian, Burstinatrix, Clayman, and Sparkman. They are consecutive certs. I did grade these myself, but only Sparkman is a 10, unfortunately. PSA was a lot more strict this time, I feel like, for some reason, for common, but I might grade another set of these in the near future, just because I do want a set for my personal collection in PSA 10. A lot of these cards you guys have probably seen in the past as well. I have had a PSA collection video at some point in time as well, but that was a while ago, and I've definitely doubled my collection since then, so figured I'd show you guys these cards. Yeah, like I said, not everything is high-end, but again, Elemental Heroes are super cool and nostalgic to me, so I definitely want to grade every copy that I can grade. I haven't exactly decided if I'm going for only the core set heroes or if I'm going for every single Elemental Hero in existence, because there's a lot of cards, obviously. So next up we have Elemental Hero Flame Wingman, ultra rare from the Lost Millennium. This card I did purchase raw, and then I graded myself. Very nice card, very happy with it, and this is the only copy that I got in PSA 10. I've graded I think 1 or 2 other copies, and I got 9 and 8s, and I sold them back during the peak hype days of COVID, and it was definitely worth it to sell back then. This card at one point I think was fetching like $750 in ultra rare, so really cool card. Really happy to have that to go with my vanilla heroes and the first set of Elemental Heroes. Thunder Giant is up next. Graded this one myself as well. I graded 2 copies in PSA 10 actually. I don't remember, I think I did pull that one as well, but I don't really remember off the top of my head. So that's all the Elemental Heroes in the Lost Millennium. Next set up is Elemental Energy, and I do have Elemental Hero Shining Flare Wingman here. Gorgeous card, even in ultra rare. I do want the ultimate rare at some point in time, but it is very expensive in English, so I'll show you guys my ulti alternatives in another part of this video. But yeah, beautiful card as well. I'm trying to keep everything in order so I don't have to resort after the fact, so bear with me here. Next up, let's grab another small stack. We have Elemental Hero Wild Edge. So this goes with Shining Flare Wingman as one of the fusions in Elemental Energy. Same with Tempest and Rampart Blaster. So, big fan of the fusion cards in the Elemental Hero archetype, obviously. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to get into, that's one of the reasons why I like GX so much, was because they had so many cool fusions that heroes could make. So I really like all of them, so yeah. Elemental Hero Blade Edge is up next, just a super rare and just a 9. But again, cool card to own as part of my low rarity hero set. Next up we have an Elemental Hero Neo Bubbleman from Shadow of Infinity. PSA 10, graded this one myself, pulled myself, I'm pretty sure. Nothing crazy there, like I said, but one of the core set Elemental Heroes that I had to have in the collection. After that, we have an Elemental Hero Necroshade Shaman, just a PSA 9. I got this from Ruxin. He pulled it in one of his Enemy of Justice openings, and I think he gifted these to me actually, just raw copies obviously of Mariner and Necroshade Shaman. But I do enjoy having these in the collection, and ended up grading them myself. A lot of you guys are gonna be like, yo, it's not worth grading these commons, and I'm like, yeah, I completely agree, but for my personal collection I really wanted to, so no reason not to if I have the money set aside for it. So next up, Elemental Hero Phoenix Enforcer, PSA 7, just a PSA 7. This one is not the cleanest card, I'm not gonna lie, but one of the first raw cards that I bought back in the day. Lots of scuffs on the back, but again, I just couldn't find this in decent condition back then, and I probably could upgrade this at some point in time, and I might look to, but not a priority for me. It's slabbed up, it's good enough for me for the time being. My original goal for you guys, if you guys didn't know, my original collecting goal was to have every single core set Elemental Hero low rarity from their original set in PSA 8 to 10. So that one kind of technically falls out of the scope of that, but it is what it is, and I'll take it for now. Next up is an Elemental Hero Shining Phoenix Enforcer. Really nice looking card. Just the ultra rare from Enemy of Justice, but again, really cool card. Another one of the non-traditional Elemental Heroes, if that makes sense, because this is an Astro Phoenix hero, not a Jaden Yuki hero or Judai. But cool card too, and happy to own it. Again, I probably could have just kept all these raw and kept them in my binder or whatever, but I really liked grading cards back like 3-4 years ago, and it's stuck with me, so here we are. Next up is an Elemental Hero Wild Wingman from Enemy of Justice as well. This one is a Jaden Yuki Elemental Hero. So cool card, very, very faint and subtle foiling, because it's a really big like card itself, if that makes sense. But like, I mean, the monster takes up a lot of the artwork box, but yeah. I've graded like 88 to, well, probably 95% of these cards actually, guys. So a lot cheaper to do that than buy graded cards, if I'm being completely honest. But sometimes you have to buy graded cards if you can't find them, or if you're only interested in one specific card. So next up we have an Elemental Hero Aquaneos, one of the first Neos fusions, actually technically the first Neos fusion in terms of set code. EN031 from Power of the Duelist. Really nice card, and to go with it I have Elemental Hero Flare Neos, as well as Elemental Hero Dark Neos, all from Power of the Duelist. These were the 3 fusions from Power of the Duelist. I probably should grade a common Neos, and I do have a couple copies, so I probably will submit one at some point in time. But that's all the Neos fusions in Power of the Duelist, with Dark Neos being the cover card, of course. So cool to have all these in PSA 10. And a lot of people do prefer the Neos fusions in Ultra Rare versus Ultimate, actually, if you guys believe it or not, but yeah. Next up we have an Elemental Hero Air Neos. This is a big card, and even in Ultra Rare, this card is probably like 200, no, probably more than that, probably $300. Even at this point in time in 2024. I'm recording this video, by the way, guys, on January 5th, 2024, while I have a bit of time between the craziness of school and work. But yeah, PSA 9, Elemental Hero Air Neos, cover card of Strike of Neos. Obviously, it's the forbidden Yu-Gi-Oh card, as people like to call it, but this card will never get a reprint, most likely, because of a lawsuit, potentially, with an airline called Neos Air, or something like that. And Yu-Gi-Oh! So yeah, back in the day, that was the only printing from Strike of Neos, and it's never appeared since. Next up we have a Grand Neos, also a PSA 9 from Strike of Neos. This one might have been from my childhood collection. I don't remember off the top of my head. But if not, I bought this raw and graded it myself. Pretty happy with the 9. It's a very, like, most of these cards are very clean, and if they got 9s or 8s, I'm not going to regrade them unless there's something really, really high value. But for my personal collection, I'm fine with just slabbing them up and having them in my personal collection. So next up we have Miscellaneous. This one's definitely for my personal collection as a kid. So I'm very happy to have kept it in good shape, to be able to grade it and get a PSA 10. Big fan of this card because it was one that I pulled back in the day. But yeah, Miscellaneous. And then we have more Neos fusions, of course, because there's so many Neos fusions. We have Miscellaneous. This one's just a rare from Tactical Evolution. I bought this one raw because I could not find it. I couldn't, like, I just, actually no, I don't know. Did I pull this? I don't think I pulled this one. I think I bought this one raw for like 10 bucks maybe, and then graded it. So this slab cost me 25 bucks, but it is what it is. Like, just needed to add it to the collection. Can't just go without it. So there we go. Moving on, we have, I think, more Neos fusions. Yeah. So this one's an Elements of Hero Miscellaneous. I used to have a PSA 7 that I bought from the Panda Duelist, but then he actually ended up gifting me a PSA 9, which is very generous of him. This was for, I think, Christmas or my birthday. I think it was a joint gift. I think it was for both my Christmas and my birthday. And he passed this off to me when we went to Seattle together a couple of years ago. So that was really nice of him, and a card that will definitely stay in my collection for like forever, really. Because like all these cards I'm gonna keep in my personal collection. There's not a whole bunch of value in the commons and rares and stuff, like I said, or even the ultras and supers. So I'm not gonna be selling any of these cards off anytime soon. And it's really cool to just have a set for personal nostalgia, really. Next up, one of my favorite elemental heroes is Chaos Neos in Secret Rare from Gladiator's Assault. Graded this one myself, and I'm really highly considering resubbing this, even though it's not a super high-end card per se. It's a very clean card, and I don't know why I didn't get a 10, but I did submit this for $50 back in the day through the value. It was called Value Plus back then, but it was $50 to grade. No, it was Economy, and it was $50 to grade this thing during the peak of COVID, basically, when PSA wasn't taking submissions because they had such a big backlog. But yeah, really cool card. I really like the Secret Rare on this card more than the Ghost Rare, honestly. I wish that we did get an Ultimate Rare print of this card because it looks gorgeous in Ultimate Rare in the OCG, but Secret Rare will do, and it's a very nice card. Next up, we have a Storm Neos from the Phantom Darkness. And this card's pretty hard to come by as well, in good shape, so happy to have a PSA 10. I graded a 9 as well in the same submission, sold the 9, so happy to own the 10. Moving on, we have a Rainbow Neos. This one I bought raw as well and graded in the same submission as the Chaos Neos, I believe. Really like this card as well. Not sure why it never got an Elemental Hero tag. I know it's a combination of Rainbow Dragon and Neos, but I still think it's a really cool card, and it's an honorary Elemental Hero in my opinion, because of it looks great. Love the Secret Rare on it. Again, another card that's probably better in Secret Rare than Ghost Rare, in my opinion. But just a PSA 8, which is really unfortunate. Probably should have gotten a 9 or even a 10. I don't really remember there being much wrong with it other than a couple back scratches. And I guess it's slightly off-centered left to right. But this one doesn't really rattle, which is nice because it was one of the earlier slabbed cards that I owned. It's crazy because like back then, 6 certs like this were like brand new. Like everything was like 4 certs basically. Like you've only ever really seen 4 certs or 2 certs essentially, and now then they were just suddenly like 5 and 6 certs, and 6 certs were just brand new basically. But now we're on to like 82 million cards submitted or something like that, or more than that, even more than that, I don't remember. Next up we have Elemental Hero Divinios. This card I just bought as a PSA 8 because I could not find a raw copy for the life of me back then, and I probably could have waited just to hunt it down a clean raw copy and then grade it myself, but I just wanted to finish off my hero collection. This one's from Crossroads of Chaos, by the way, so not a GX set. It's from 5Ds, but Divinios, very nice card. I think it comes in season 4 of the anime, though it wasn't dubbed. Cool card. Off-centered, so that's probably why it got an 8. I could possibly resub this and get a 9, but is it worth it? I don't know. It's definitely not getting a 10, so there's no real point in my opinion to resub it. If it got like a 5 and I resubbed it and I thought it would be worthy of an 8 or 9, then I probably would have, but from an 8 to a 9, it's probably not worth it in my opinion. Cool card though, very expensive card, raw. And we have more cards here still, so we're at 15 minutes. How are you guys feeling? I might just break this video up, even though I wanted to do a longer one. We'll see. We'll see. Next up, we have an Elemental Hero Neos Knight. Pulled myself. Very nice card. Again, in the 5Ds anime, or in a 5Ds core set instead of GX. And I don't know where this card, if this card ever makes an appearance in the anime or the manga, but cool card to own in Ultimate Rare. One of the only Ultimate Rares I own, actually. I don't know why this card came in this pile, actually. It's because it's one of the Neos Fusion, that's why. Because we are back to regular Elemental Heroes again, and we have Elemental Hero Captain Gold. So this one I bought raw and graded. This card came to my house the literal day that I was about to submit my first personal PSA submission. So I had to remake my submission and print off like a whole new set of papers, I'm pretty sure, just to include this in my first submission. But that was worth it back then because grading cards back then was like $10 a card plus shipping costs. So it was like 11 bucks to get a card graded. Versus now it's like 16, essentially, 17, depending on how many cards you're submitting. So yeah, Elemental Hero Captain Gold, nothing too spectacular. Again, it's a very subtle hollow. It's just on the, I mean, it's kind of everywhere, but it's really essentially, actually no, it's just on the actual character itself there. All right, we have Elemental Hero Neos Alias next. Just a super rare from Tactical Evolution, but again, it's an Elemental Hero. I had to add it to the collection. Definitely bought this one raw as well and graded it myself. Again, not a valuable card whatsoever, but cool just to own and to kind of complete the collection with, because it's a piece of the hero collection. Next up, we have Plasma Vice. Really nice card from Gladiator's Assault. I actually picked this one up from my friend and fellow Yugi tuber, Casual Yugi Stuff, or Jamie, from the UK. So shout out to Jamie for selling me this back in the day, like way back in the day, one of the 4 certs, like I was telling you. But really cool card. Pretty sure it is a Euro print, just based off the way the corners are kind of chipped on some of them. But just this one really. But yeah, cool card. Not one of the rarer Gladiator's Assault secrets, but cool nonetheless. Next up, we have another big hero fusion, but it's actually another one from 5Ds, Elemental Hero Gaia. Pretty darn expensive in PSA 9 and 10, but especially even raw, like it's a very expensive card. I'm pretty darn sure I bought this raw. Yeah, I definitely bought this raw, sent it to the Panda Duelist in the States because it was on, I think it was an eBay purchase. And then he actually graded this for me. So shout out to him for doing that. But yeah, nice card. Next up, we have an Elemental Hero Nova Master, another card that I've always wanted in my collection, and I actually picked this up from another guy on Instagram. His name was Metal Raiders, I believe. I don't remember his exact handle, but his name's Danny, and shout out to Danny for trading me this. I did a couple of individual box breaks for him, so I opened up some Storm of Ragnarok and maybe Cosmo Blazer for him, but he ended up, and I pulled him a Loki or a Thor, maybe one of those two. But he hooked me up with this card raw, and I saw him pull it himself in a reel. So I was like, yo, I hit him up. I hit him up and I was like, yo, sell me that card or trade it to me or whatever. And we worked out a trade, so shout out to him for that, for this Nova Master. Next up, we have an Elemental Hero Steam Healer. Got this one from SYC TCG. Good guy in the UK. He's a big Elements of Hero collector as well, but he's a set collector more so nowadays, I'd say. He finished off Tactical Evolution not that long ago, and he sold this to me for a pretty good price back then. I think it was like 50 bucks, so I will take it. This was one of the other Elements of Heroes that I was missing in my collection for a while because I could not find a clean raw copy for the life of me, so I decided to settle for the 8. And I'm pretty sure this is a Euro print, but I cannot tell for sure. Next up we have an Elements of Hero Electrum from the Legendary Collection GX. Technically not the original print for this card, but it's the highest rarity for this specific card. I'm in the same boat for bubbleman. Like, I know they come in the McDonald's promo as rares, but I kind of want their holo version, so I think I'm going to try to get another bubbleman in gradable condition, because I have a raw copy that I got from a pack that I got from, I can't remember his name on Instagram right now, but nice guy. He sold me one loose pack of Legendary Collection GX. I think it was EXE, Yu-Gi-Oh! EXE or something like that. But he pulled me a bubbleman. It actually came back. It got shipped to me and it was like slightly dinged at the top, like right up here was dinged, so I unfortunately couldn't grade that copy of bubbleman, but all good. We'll find another one at some point in time and then add that to the collection as well. We are getting to the end of this hero collection basically, guys, so bear with me. Thank you guys for watching. It's a long video, so I think I'm going to split up the other parts. Next up we have Elements of Hero Ocean from the Jump promo. Cool card as well. Another raw card that I got from my friend Alec, and graded and got a PSA 9. Elements of Hero Core, also from a Shonen Jump magazine. This one had a few holo scratches for sure when I got it from my friend Dak, the collector, on Instagram, but ended up submitting it anyways, and it's a PSA 7. Probably a little harsh, probably could have gotten an 8 or a 9, maybe an 8, but again, it's not worth resubbing or trying to pick up another copy because it's not a, I know it's a core Elements of Hero, but it's not from a core set, so there's no point for me to hunt down this card specifically. It doesn't have any nostalgic value per se, it's just to kind of complete the set of what I own. Next up we have an Elements of Hero Neos. This is the collector's tin version. I think that this is highest rarity technically still, even though there is the Starlight version, or the quarter century rare version at this point in time, and the Pharaoh's secret rare version. Personally, this card is the best looking Neos, and I graded this one myself. I'm getting a PSA 10 actually from the Panda Duelist. He actually just showed me the Christmas gift that he had for me this year, and he gave me one of his 3 copies of Elements of Hero Neos, so shout out to him for gifting that to me. I'll pick it up in a few weeks when I go see him, when we hang out and go on a trip together again. But yeah, Elements of Hero Neos. Next up we have a Burstendrix. This one is a Lost Art promo. I'm a big fan of this card, obviously, because it is Burstendrix and it looks great in ultra rare. And obviously, not the censored version. But unfortunately, I got a PSA 9. I think it was probably 10 worthy, but it is what it is. Not going to resub it for the sake of resubbing it. Lost Art promo. The only Elements of Hero Lost Art promo so far, actually. I don't know if they have any other ones that they're planning in the future, but I would definitely pick it up. Next up we have Elements of Hero Wildheart. This is the misprint from the GX Special Edition with the secret rare lettering, but just the ultra rare or super rare foiling. I'm a fan of this like kind of card. Like, I wish they made more like that, to be honest with you. Obviously secret rares look great with the foil lines and stuff, but I really like the clean look of having just the ultra rare / super rare foiling, and then the really nice looking rainbowed text for the card name, and just a PSA 8. But again, this was my cleanest copy and it got an 8. Probably could have been a 9 or a 10 on a different day, to be quite honest with you. It's just the way PSA is sometimes, and I acknowledge it. I realize that they are not perfect. It's subjectivity based for a lot of grading, but again, I still grade with them because it's, number one, they have the most value, Number two, they do have really good customer service in terms of what they do if they actually damage your cards. And number three, I just have every card in my collection is a PSA graded card basically, so I'm not going to stray away from that at this point in time. They have me in a chokehold, unfortunately. Next up, we have Elements of Hero Thunder Giant from the Mattel figure collection. This is the only Mattel promo that I actually own. I would love Flame Wingman at some point in time, but I don't think I'm gonna get there. It's just too darn expensive to try to pick one up, so I have an alternative for that, and I'll show you guys in a second here. But yeah, very unique rarity. It's not a great looking rarity in my opinion, but a very unique one, so I had to add this to my collection. These were kind of like the miscellaneous heroes, if that makes sense. But yeah, let's go into the high rarity heroes next. So I do have an Elements of Hero Thunder Giant and Ultimate Rare. Bought this one raw during the hype days and graded it myself. Probably could have sold it for $1,500, $1,800 back in the day. Did not, and it's definitely dropped significantly since. I think this is a $900 card at this point, maybe even less than that. I don't know off the top of my head, but cool card. And honestly, Elements of Hero Thunder Giant looks like it's Europrint regardless because of the foil lines and like the way that there's texturing all throughout the card. And then the stars even look really different than other Elements of Heroes. So really cool card. Happy to have that in my collection as well. And we also have an Elements of Hero Dark Bright. This is my favorite looking Ultimate Rare hero, I'd say. Just not actually, other than Flame Wingman, and I'll show you guys that in a sec, but Dark Bright, really nice looking texturing. And another card that looks basically Europrint. I don't know if the Europrint really looks that much different than this one. But yeah, really cool looking card. I love that this combines Sparkman and Necroshade, because Necroshade doesn't have too many hero fusions other than Necro and Shaman. Yeah, really nice looking card. I got that one in a trade for an Absolute Power Force booster box and some other stuff, I think, on top of that, and cash or something like that. But yeah, another card that I traded for was this Elements of Hero Chaos Neos. Really nice looking ghost rare. I do like the secret rare better, like I said, but I had to pick this up because it was available for a very good price, and I did a mostly trade plus cash for this as well. I think I traded the guy some RDS packs, and then I opened them for him on the YouTube channel, sent him the pulls. But yeah, cool card to own. Happy with it. Not the cleanest copy. There was something wrong with it. It's just really off-centered at the back, actually. I think that was the main issue. Like, extremely off-centered at the back. So I understand why I got a 9. And then also bottom to top centering slightly off as well, but another cool card just to own. And lastly, for the high rarity heroes, I have Elements of Hero Flame Wingman in this PSA display case. I really like this display, so I have it on display, and this is my favorite card of all time, of course, guys. I know you guys really like Asian English prints and Euro prints of this card, but I personally like the North American print because it's the most nostalgic to me. And I'm not saying that just because I own a copy of this. It's because I genuinely do remember seeing this card back at a hobby store back in the day as a kid, and I was like, yo, I need one of these at some point in time. I never even owned the ultra rare version, so I'm very happy to own this now. I paid way too much for this back in the day, but again, it was during hype days, and it was 3.5 thousand US dollars. I need to get rid of this dust. Holy moly, that is a lot of dust buildup. Wow. Luckily, I have some old gauze that I can use to clean off some dust right away here. But yeah, very nice looking Elements of Hero Flame Wingman. This was the single biggest purchase I ever made in Yu-Gi-Oh! And do I regret it? A little bit in terms of how much I spent on it, but do I regret buying the card as a whole? Not really. And I made up that 3.5K by selling other stuff, so it all works out. It all works out. Just trying to put this back real quick. Alright, yeah, I have it on display on my wall there, so let's get into the Elements of Hero traps and spells. So we have Hero Signal, pretty basic from the Lost Millennium, but cool card. Not expensive at this point in time either. And we have Cybernetic Revolution's Skyscraper. Just a pretty plain looking foil too, because it's NA, but again, cool card to own just in PSA 9. I think I actually did pick this one up as a graded card too, as a 9. Skyscraper 2 Hero City. Picked this one up graded. I think I traded something for it. I don't remember, some raw cards probably. Got this. It's again a card that probably could get a PSA 9 on a different day, but not really worth regrading in my opinion. So gonna leave it as an 8. Next up, one of my favorite hero spells is Fifth Hope. Features obviously the 5 original elemental heroes from GX. And yeah, just a big fan of the way that they're posed and the way they're standing. And these are the most nostalgic elemental heroes other than Flame Wingman for me, so. Next up we have Neospace from Power of the Duelist. This one has some interesting texturing too, even though it's a North American print card. You can tell that there's some lines through the foiling, so really cool to see. Got this one raw, graded myself. Next up we have Miracle Contact, one of the many Neos like spell cards featuring elements of Hero Neos, and I don't think I'm going to pick up the rest of them, but this one I did pull myself, so I figured I'd grade it. And I'm happy with a 9. Nothing too spectacular, but cool card to have. Next up, Generation Next, another really cool card. This is from the theme song of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the opening theme. And this exact pose is part of that, so very cool. Happy they printed it and made it into a card. Just calling it Generation Next is so perfect too. From Legendary Duelist, Magical Hero. And of course, favorite hero, to match my favorite hero, Elemental Hero, Flame Wingman. Gorgeous card. And we are at 30 minutes, guys, so I'm going to finish off my Elemental Hero Flame Wingman collection here, and then we'll call it a video, I think. Alright, so like I said, let's finish off the video by talking about my Elemental Hero Flame Wingman collection. I do have quite a few Elemental Hero Flame Wingmans, a few copies of them from different sets, and mostly English, but some one Japanese and one Korean as well. So let's go over them, and then we will call it a video. So, first and foremost, obviously you guys know I have the Ultimate Rare from the Lost Millennium in North American print. Really nice looking card. Really happy with it. My favorite card of all time, still to this day. We have the Ultra Rare that I showed you guys already as well, from the Lost Millennium. We have a Dark Revelation 3 copy, so this card was pretty expensive at one point in time. I traded quite a few things for it, and do I regret it? A little bit, because I saw one, I think, sell for like 200 bucks the other day. I was like, dang, that's a pretty good price for this card, considering how hard it is to pull from Dark Revelation 3. But yeah, cool card, and it's just an ultra rare, which is unfortunate. It would be cool to have it in a different rarity than the Lost Millennium printing, but it's slightly darker than the TLM copy that I have. And yeah, I mean, it's a cool card to have regardless, so. There's our first 2 copies. I'm gonna move this off to the side, by the way, so I can have a bit more room to showcase the other copies of Flame Wingman. I do have a Duelist Pack Jaden Yuki version as well. This one is very faded. Like, compare the purple to like a regular fusion, and it's pretty faded looking. It looks almost blue in this lighting, at least. PSA 9, I'm okay with that. It's all good. It's nothing special. It's just part of the Elemental Hero Flame Wingman collection. So next up we have an Elemental Hero Collection 1 copy of this card. It is a PSA 5, which is the lowest graded card that I own, I believe. There is a crease in it, which is super unfortunate because this card was clean when I bought it from eBay. Like, it was listed extremely clean. It's just the guy did not use a top loader to ship it, and I was pretty pissed about it, but I didn't even notice it until I was about to submit its PSA. So it is what it is, guys. Like, it's just nice to have a copy. I do have another copy on the way, so I'm hoping to grade that and get a PSA 9 or 10 off of that, but we'll see, we'll see. Next up, we have a dual terminal 3 copy. So this is one of the lesser loved rarities in general, and you can kind of see why it's not that great. It's basically a metal promo, but like polka dots instead of like vertical and horizontal lines. I don't think there's a dual terminal preview of dual terminal 3, so this is as good as it gets for dual terminal 3. But there is a different copy in dual terminal rarity as well, obviously. Hidden Arsenal Chapter 1. This one's an ultra rare dual terminal rarity, if that makes sense, versus just a regular common in dual terminal rarity. But cool to have either way. I mean, pulled this one myself. Unfortunate 9, probably could have gotten a 10 on another day, but just off-center top to bottom, so all good, all good. That is the first 6. Next up we have another Wingman from Legendary Collection GX, first edition. Had 2 of these in PSA 8 at one point, sold the other or passed it on to somebody in a trade or something like that, but this one has a bit of a foil line there, so you can see why it got an 8 potentially, and it's off-center top to bottom. But again, not a card I'm gonna hunt for in near mint raw just to try to get a 10. Cool card though, cool card. I do actually have a sealed Legendary Collection GX though, so I might open that at some point in time just to see, but not sure if it's necessarily worth it at this point in time. Another secret rare copy we have is this from the Speed Duel collection box thing, whatever it's called. Speed Duel GX. Yeah, it's a Europrint card. Every Speed Duel card is Europrint. If you guys didn't know that, everything is printed in Belgium, so for Speed Duels. So cool to just have in the collection. Not anything spectacular, but just bought this one raw for like $1 or $2, graded it, added to the collection. So next up we have a card that is not an original Elemental Hero Wingman, but it is the new retrain for it, and it's called Infernal Rage. This one comes from Battles of Legend Monstrous Revenge, and it's a bit of a bleeder. You can't really tell in this lighting, but really cool card. I wish this card came in quarter century rare, because that'd be really cool and fitting for it. It's an iconic card, and then just having a new version of it makes it cool as well. Next up we have all my OCG versions of Elemental Hero Wingman, so let's get into it. Like I said, there is an alternative to the Metal promo, because there is a it's called a V Jump or Shonen Jump promo, and this one came out in 2005 or 2004, I guess, but it says February 2005 here, so I'm kind of confused about that, but y'all let me know if you know in the comments below when this card came out. V Jump promo, Wingman, has a rare, like just the rare text for the name, and then this Metal promo, or parallel rarity type thing. Kind of like Hobby League, really, if you think about it. Next up, a big boy, we have Elemental Hero Wingman, again, of course, in Ultimate Rare in the OCG. I really like this rarity as well, in like this specific version of this rarity. Really shows off the card, and it pops the background a bit better than the North American print version. But again, a PSA 9, I'm okay with it. I bought this card raw, and I'm okay with the 9. There is a bit of whitening at the corner there, so understandable that it's a 9. If I do pick up another copy of this card in the future to try to get a 10, it would have to be a really clean copy. And lastly, or actually not lastly, another Ultimate Rare. And this one is Korean version of this card, so you can kind of tell the differences between the OCG version, the original copy, versus the Korean rarity. This one's more similar to Europrint, in my opinion, or Asian English than this one. This one's pretty unique. This one has a lot of texturing going on, and I don't love that, not gonna lie. But cool card, cool card. Very happy to have both. And I did pull this one myself, so that was a big pull back in the day, even though it's just a Korean version. But yeah, very cool, very cool. Lastly, we have the Power of the Elements bonus pack version of this card. And I did buy this one as a PSA 9, and I do kind of regret it, but again, I wasn't sure how scarce it would be. So I decided to pick this up, and it looks really good, but I wish that there was an English version of this card in Quarter Century Rare or Starlight Rare. But yeah, very nice looking card. I might want to upgrade to a 10 at some point in time if there never is an English version, but we'll see. It's not a priority for me, so. Cool card to have, and that kind of rounds out the Flame Wingmans. And then lastly, I have two other OCG heroes. Well, I guess three, really, but they are Elemental Heroes, so I will show them off here as well. We have a Korean version of Shining Flare Wingman. Really nice looking foil on this one as well. And the Japanese OCG version. So like I said, I'm not going to buy the English version for like $8,000 or whatever it is right now. I might as well have these and just enjoy them, because they are equally as nice, if not better in my opinion, than in English copies. So very nice cards, very happy with both of these, and got them for a fraction of the price. I bought this one raw in Japan actually for I think like $50 Canadian, so like 35 US dollars. And then I got this one off a trade as a raw card and graded it as well. So got this one from I can't remember, sorry, but you know who you are. And yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching this video. It's a long one, it's 40 minutes already, so we're just gonna cut it off here, and then we'll go into my GX collection and my other miscellaneous things. After that, we've got Zexal 5Ds, some dual monster stuff, so we'll get into that in another video. Thank you guys for watching this though, and if you guys made it to the end of this video, let me know in the comments below, and I will catch y'all soon. Peace.